boy. I'm on Tyler's 24 KTM 300XC. He's changed a few things on the bike. Not a whole lot. One of the things is his gearing. So these bikes come with I believe it's the 1445, or is it the 1345? Anyway, they come with a 45 tooth rear sprocket now in 2024. He's gone up to a 48 tooth sprocket. And it might be kind of interesting. It might be something I want to try on mine. I need to do it on a couple of hill climbs. I haven't really had any hill climbs yet since I got on his bike. But might make it a little snappier. I don't know. In the past, I've always really kind of gravitated back towards the stock gearing which they've put on them. But willing to look around on this bike and just see on the 24s. He's gone and blacked it all out. So black fender, black tank. He's got a pretty cool graphics setup on this guy. Pretty steep there off to my left. It's funny, his bike feels a little bit more springy to me than mine. I'm sure he has a little more preload on the rear. He weighs a touch more than me, but almost feels springier on the front too. Weird, but I don't know. Front forks, these exact closed cartridge forks, spring forks, and they're good.
Gonna make sure he doesn't go down on the V's.
Man, funny, about 2 years ago, I was on this trail. Was it 2 years? Yeah. And I just had kind of an aha moment right here, kind of shifting between second gear and third gear in a flow on this trail near here, and a light bulb kind of went off in my head about something that was happening in my life, and a lot of stuff has changed since then. Every once in a while I'll get a really big moment of clarity while out on one of these rides. That certainly happened that day.
You know, we never really know when certain like inflection points are going to happen in our lives. And what I'm talking about here, or what I was talking about there just in that monologue, is I'm just talking about how that day, that ride really shifted kind of the direction of my life while I was riding, you know, and it's such a beautiful thing to be able to get out on the bike and have those types of moments of clarity. And it's happened to me several different times throughout the years. You know, you can just kind of, I find that riding is just enough, and it doesn't happen every time, but it's just enough like of a distraction from what my mind is normally thinking about and the pressures and all the things. And I can just get clear on some stuff. And I know that it's made me a better person. I know that it's made me a more empathetic person. And it's just kind of shifted things for me. And so it's fun. You can get into a flow, and I've talked about it. I was even in counseling several different times, you know, talking to different people, and I've brought up that day on the bike, like how, oh my gosh, I'm clipping along on this trail. I'm on a 250XE. That's the bike I was riding that day, and I'm shifting between second gear and third gear at one point, and all of a sudden it was just like a light bulb goes off in my mind, and then it did shift the direction of some of the things that I was doing in my life. And it's kind of a wild ride, because I think about it 2 years later, a lot of things have changed, and it was because of a moment of clarity that I had that day on this trail, not on this bike. I think today I'm riding this is a 300XCW. That day it was a 250XC. Man, I love that bike. It must have been a 2021 KTM 250XC. Those were some of the best bikes. If you had a 2020 250XC, 2021, 2022 250XC, those are my favorite. Like I like those a little bit better than the 23s and the 24s, I feel like. But yeah, so good times, man. Love these motorcycles. Love to get out. Love the clarity that you can get. Love the challenge. Love how the mountain can break you, and it does. Like, the mountain can break you. But it's the best kind of break that there is. And if you've been out here, you know what I mean.